Disney is desperate for viewership on Andor. Nobody watched the first season, and it follows that even less people watched the second season. It's the exact same thing we've seen with the current Doctor Who. Everybody tuned out after that first season. Of course, the ratings are at the lowest of all time. Andor already struggled with viewers for a lot of reasons. I did watch the first season, so I can tell you exactly why from a storytelling perspective. But they are really jumping the shark right here with DEI and wokeism in this new season. And they've tried to not market it as best they can, and they're letting it seep out now, and this is the marketing reason behind it. I will talk about this in just a moment. Please hit the like and subscribe button as we talk about all things on pop culture and science fiction especially. If you guys are Star Wars fans, I want you to check out my Justified Saga of the Nano Templar. It is crusading in space. I saw somebody actually posting the other day on Star Wars saying, one of the shills going, Andor proves that Star Wars isn't about Jedi and lightsabers. And it's like, okay, well, that's why nobody's watching it. That's exactly what makes Star Wars special and fun. So we tried to bring the fun back. We tried to bring the action back into military science fiction. And you're going to absolutely love this trilogy. Grab it in the description below. Thank you guys so much. It's available on ebook, print, and audio for your convenience. And I appreciate you guys for supporting alternative media. So Lucasfilm's latest live-action series, Disney Plus Andor Season 2, failed to chart at all on Luminate's top streaming originals for the television chart for week April 18th for 24th. Now, they did huge marketing for this. Andor was talked about everywhere. They just had all their accounts blazing with this. They really wanted this to take off and be a success. And in some ways, it's kind of sad that Andor didn't do very well because the first season, it has its pacing problems. And that's exactly what caused people to turn out in the first place. The pacing problems, a character, a background character from a prequel to a movie and this is a prequel to that. It's a lot for a casual fan to really even get invested in the first place. Now, I thought they did pretty good with the Andor character. It really ramped up pretty well in the middle of the season, especially in the prison arc where you had that stark white prison where they're building things. There was a lot of cool science fiction elements to it in that part in particular. But the pacing was atrociously slow. And so that's really difficult of an ask to get people, like I said, in on and invested in on that level. Now, Season 2 is a couple years after the fact as well. You can't have this big of a break between these streaming shows that have 8, 12 episodes or whatever. There's not enough for you to latch onto to come back a couple years later. You have to have these rolling back to back to back also, just from a standpoint of a business perspective on how streaming works. And that's exactly why this is all gone. So the wokeism was very, very light in Season 1. They had a couple of things in there. Of course, the casting choices, the diverse casting that we see in every Netflix show and every Disney show is all there. But and they also added in this lesbian romance thing, which they've now amped up to 11, which was in the background. You saw in the first season the two lesbians touching hands real quick, and there was a comment where she's like, "That's why you love me." And that's how far they went with it. Now, this season, they've really amped things up to try to, quote, be more adult with things with a kid's show, and it's really not working. Nobody's really came in on this so far. And they have generated some talk about the series this week with their controversies. And I think that's what they're attempting to do right now. They're attempting to have the media do that. But as you can see, even people are talking about this. It didn't go anywhere. It's not. Nobody's worrying about this whatsoever. This Ransom Canyon's ridiculous. Why are people watching this so much? I've seen this pretty much everywhere, and I don't understand it. But hey, that's definitely more of a female demographic show. Part of the next problem is, of course, they've tried to take this male demographic show and turn it into a female demographic franchise under Kathleen Kennedy. We've seen this in everything, and Andor is really no exception to that. You have, of course, the space lesbians who are working for the rebellion. You have a big focus on Mon Mothma. You have an Imperial gal who's the one you're supposed to focus on, the Imperials, who's the strong female lead. And, of course, you've got Bix doing her bits also. So there's a lot of female overrepresentation in this, like there are in all modern Star Wars things. Not much going on whatsoever. This is back in 2022. Season 1's finale on Nielsen just had a single episode that week, and they actually made it into the top 10 at that point. And you could see where the 674 million minutes watched was at on that, which is, of course, nowhere to be found on this season premiere this week. Pretty crazy low numbers that you could see here. And that's why I say they are doing this kind of thing with an intention to draw people's attention via controversy. And that's what the whole rape thing was about in episode 3 that they talked about, where they, of course, very explicitly said they were doing that to Vix. And that was the first week. Remember, they dropped all 3 episodes in the first week, so there should have been a lot of watch hours of this show in its first week, because that's a lot of episodes. If they got 672 million for the finale a couple years back, well, those people just disappeared. And this is exactly what we saw with Rings of Power, too. The people did not come back for season 2 of this. And it's the same scenario. I mean, that show is so slow, so boring. It makes Andor look like a fast-paced action adventure. Now, I did watch episode 1 of this before I saw all the controversial stuff and the crazy stuff that I'm just like, I'm done. I just don't even want to come back anymore. I thought episode 1 of this actually had some okay moments. Like, it started with some good action. Then it slowed right back down to where it's like, oh my gosh, it's going to put me to sleep. And that's the problem they're having with this show. So they tried the rape thing, that didn't work. And so what are they going to do now? Well, here's the next controversy you can get. Disney went full LGBTQ propaganda in Andor with this, and this is what they're trying to promote now. So where it was light, I mentioned at the beginning of this video that they amped this up to 11. This is where it's at now. They have full-on lesbian kissing here. Now, by the way, this is the woman who is the companion in Doctor Who for the new woke Doctor Who as well. That's on Disney+. You can tell that they're pulling from the same pool of people to do LGBTQ propaganda across all these sci-fi franchises. It's like their intentions just go through and stomp in every single one of these grounds and just make sure it never comes back. Here's the problem with this type of thing. When you go here, you can't come back. You can't unsee this stuff. The franchise is just something you just don't want to support after this. And that, had that little problem in the background of the third movie, Rise of the Skywalker. I almost forgot the movie title. It's been such a long time, and it's such an irrelevant movie, where they put those 2 women at the very back at the end of it. They put them as background characters, so you could barely saw it there, because they wanted to just test the waters, and that's what they do. They kind of sprinkle it in, and then full bore, and here we go, lesbian makeout session in Andor, just to virtue signal, and of course a mixed race one at that, just to add that cherry on top, because we got to really be diverse and inclusive right here. And so, like I said, I think this woman got cast in Doctor Who because Russell T Davies is trying to push the LGBTQ agenda more than anything, and they probably saw it happening in Disney and was like, okay, I'll bring her over, and it probably made the Disney masters happy as well. But they don't stop there. It was not just this that came out this morning. This was the thing that's drawing the most attention among the people who were watching it yesterday and getting this around, and I'm seeing some conservative influencers be like, they'll comment on this, and then when people call them on it, from the left, they'll go, I didn't say that being gay was a bad thing. It's like, well, why are you commenting on it as if it's a negative thing then? I don't understand that. Stop equivocating. This is my big call to conservative influencers. This is all a slippery slope that's been going on for a long, long time. When you equivocated and said, yes, it's fine for 2 adults to do whatever they want in the privacy of their own bedrooms, that's what led to them getting into this spot. And they've got a big activist community, and they're grooming children. And at the end of the day, Star Wars is a kids program, and they are marketing a lot of it towards kids. And even though Andor is kind of an adult show, which they do because they make it boring, and they've added some swearing to it too, which is really out of place for Star Wars. I mean, there's no reason to do this. Just all you have to do, editors, is not have that in there and not have this in there, and you have an okay children's show that everybody can watch. It's really ridiculous, but oh well. They like to just be edgy boys, and that's part of the problem with our modern culture a lot. But look, it is a bad thing. This grooming is a bad thing. It is a weird fetish lifestyle that leads to problems in society, and that's how we're getting our problems in society now. So do not equivocate on this. Do not say this is totally fine and there's nothing wrong with it and call it out at the same time. It just drives me mad to see that kind of thing in 2025. We really have to push back. DEI has ruined everything, and we have to push even harder at this point, because here we go. There's not just that in it, guys. This is a man in a dress in Andor Season 2. Like I said, they went full Doctor Who on everything. This is like a exact pattern of what Russell T Davies did with that show. It's absolutely crazy that they're doing this with Star Wars and going this far. And they're just going to keep pushing even further. Now, the reason they did this for now, and they put it in the episodes 4 through 6, which was the second week, was so that they can have all their marketing on the first week to have it be, oh, it's the Andor action adventure show, get people lulled in to complacency, and then they drop it on you. Notice that's what they're changing at this point. They're not marketing with this stuff. They're not going out there going, it's the most diverse and inclusive Star Wars ever, and actually trying to appeal to people that way because they know it makes people tune out. They're trying to sneak it in after you're already invested for 3 hours, so you're going to come back for it. And unfortunately, nobody's invested at all, so they're really barking up the wrong tree right here. So very, very sad stuff, but this is expected. Like I said, it's all a marketing stunt because it's getting us talking about things at this point. I think the rape thing was bigger on that front than this is because, every news article was talking about it earlier in the week, trying to gin up the numbers. They knew that there were poor numbers and poor viewership in the first week, and so they put out that narrative that it's controversial just to try to get people to tune in. It didn't work, and this isn't going to work either. I'm fed up with this. I'm canceling Disney Plus. I'm done. I like a lot of the old Marvel movies, the old Star Wars stuff. I'm just going to go get some DVDs and physical media because there's no reason to have this anymore. There's nothing coming up that's worthwhile on the Marvel or this end. There's no reason to have this network and support this kind of thing. So that's what I'm going to do. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Please hit the like and subscribe button, and do make sure to support alternative media. This is Justified, Saga of the Nano Templar, guys. You're going to love this. It's in the description below, ebook, print, and audio for the full trilogy. We'll be back soon.